one dot name, and then you can give at a value. If we want to consider age, we need to write student one dot age. So here I am giving value string copy student one dot name comma Sovereign. We cannot directly give the value whenever it's a string. We need to use string copy function. That's why I have used string copy function. strcpy is the function to copy the string. The first one is the destination and the second one is source. So we are copying Sovereign string to the student one's name. So we are writing student one dot name. What should be copied there? The name which is following. That name is Sovereign, right? Then we are giving age. Age is integer attribute, so you can directly give it. So student one dot age is equals to 18. Then I want to print those values, right? So how can I print it? Printf percentage s is in age percentage d. So the output will be Sovereign is in age 18, right? Let us have a quick look on sample program. Here I have created one structure.c file. In that I am writing struct point, means I am creating one point structure with two variables integer x comma y. See, it's not necessary to write integer x semicolon integer y. You can write integer x comma y. Then p1. Now p1 is what? P1 is the variable of point structure, or you can say P1 is the object of point structure. Then void main, clear screen, we are clearing the screen, and then I am asking for two values of P1's x and y. So I am writing P1 dot x and P2 dot y. See, I haven't initialized P1. Here I am not writing P1 is equal to in the bracket 1 comma 2. In that case P1's x value would be 1 and P1's y value would be 2. But I am not initializing, so I need those values in my main. So when I want to write it in main, I cannot use curly brackets and I cannot comma separated values. So I need to write it by scanning, or I need to directly give it. So P1 dot x is equal to 10 or P1 dot y is equal to 20. That I directly need to give, or I need to use scanf to give the values. So I am writing here scanf percentage d ampersand P1 dot x and percentage d ampersand P1 dot y. So I am scanning two values P1 dot x and P1 dot y. Then if I want to print those value, I would be writing value of x and y for P1 are x is equal to percentage d P1 dot x and P1 dot y. So I am giving x and y values of P1 to be printed. So this is the output. When I would be scanning, it would be 3 and 4 to be scanned, and then it's printing, right? Some other operations we can use for on structure variables. They are the assignment as well as the comparison. So if we want to assign one instance to be in other instance, then I need to use assignment operator. Let us have an example. Struct, I am not using tag because that's not a need. So I am writing a struct integer x, integer y. Then I am completing the scope. P1 is equal to 5 and 10. Here I am writing 5 and 10 means x would be having a value 5 and y would be having a value 10, comma P2. P2 is uninitialized. It's not having any value for its x and y. It's an empty. Right, now we are writing P2 is equals to P1, means P2's x would be of P1's x and P2's y would be of P1's y. So that is the thing I am writing, right? So now P1's x would be x 5 and P1's y would be 10. The same values will go to P2 and P2's x will be 5 and P2's y would be 10, right? Now two structure variables can also be compared to each other, means we can compare the content of two same kind of structure variables. Same kind of means if I am creating points object or points instant and I am creating students instant, I cannot compare them because they are of different entities. If they are of same entity, then only I can compare. So here I am considering P1 and P2. So P1 is point, P2 is again a point. So I am writing if they are equal, P1 is equal to P2, means P1 and P2 are same, means consider P1's x, P2's x, P1's y, P2's y. If all they are same, then only this particular assignment will return you 1. Otherwise this statement will return you 0. You can also have not equals to operator. Not equals to operator will return 1 when they are not same and 0 if they are same. So that's a reverse of equals to operator. Then array of structures means how you can create the array of structures. Again, array of structures is why required, right? Suppose let us consider that you need to draw a line, right? A line in a coordinate system, 2 coordinate system, and suppose this line is having 10 points. There are many points, but I am considering that this particular line is having 10 points, P1 to P10, and I want all those points information to be stored, right? P1's information, P2's information. Suppose let me have an idea. So suppose this is P1, this is P2, this is P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, and I want all those information of x and y coordinates for this many points. Then if I want to have this particular thing, I am creating one structure only, and that structure is point, and I want this many points, right? So rather than writing P1, P2, P3, P4 to P10, I would be writing P of some array with size 10. So this is the array of structure. Which structure? Point structure, and that would be having 10 elements in it. 10 elements of structure. Which structure? Point structure. So let us have the introduction to that. Single student objects. Let us consider student right now. So a single student object or instance would only store data for one object or one instance, right? So suppose I am writing struct student S1, that S1 will be having information about one student, and that student is S1 only. But if I am having 50 students in my class, I cannot write S1, S2, S3, S4. That's a donkey work, right? You cannot write it every time, P1, P2, P3, P4. That's a much of work. So instead of writing that, you can take an array of that particular class, that particular structure. So we are writing, but it's useful for a program to handle much records. In general case, this happens. You need to have records of multiple strength or multiple numbers. So in that case, you need to have array. Array will somehow shortening your work. It's reducing your stuff, right? So you are writing struct student S of 50. See, in the space of declaration only you are saving your S1, S2, S3. Then recall that later on how much work would be reduced. Even just for a declaration you are reducing this many work. Rather than writing this, if you are not creating array, you need to write S1, S2, S3, such as 50. And later on, again, whenever you are using them, again you need to use it every time. So if you are using the array, it's saving your time. All the advantages of array would be there, right? So let us see an example that we are having some items with us. Let us say freeze, TV, or whatever stuff, right? So there are the items, and I am storing the items list, right? I need a structure which can store details for me. So I am taking struct item which is having particular attributes, part number, cost and selling price. Means cost means મને કેટલામાં પડે છે, selling price means હું કેટલામાં એને વેચી શકું છું એ. So I am writing struct item integer part number and float cost and float selling price, right? Then I am finishing this particular structure. Struct item I of 40 means suppose in my inventory I am having 40 such items which I need to take care, right? So I am creating an array struct item I of 40. Here this defines array with 40 elements, each of having every item. This particular part number, cost and selling price, they are there in each of these 40, right? Let us say that initialization of members with the array of structure means when we are creating array of this particular structures, how we can give values to its individual element, right? So let us have a quick look. Struct item, integer part number, float cost, float selling price. As I said previously, I am completing my statement and then later on I am writing struct item I2. This means that I am creating I2. I2 means item 1 and item 2, means there is an array of 2 items I0 and I1, and I want to give 3 values to this particular I0 and I1. So I am giving 1 would be part number, then 120.90, that would be cost, and selling price would be 150. For the second item this would be the case, right? So that is the initialization of structures whenever the structures are there in array. Other way is what? Other way is, rather than initializing them, if you want to later on use it, you need to use I0, means you are talking about the first item, that's why you are using I of 0. Then you will be using I of 1. So you are writing I of 0, and which attribute you are talking about? You are talking about part number 1. So part number is equals to 1, and the later one is cost. Cost would be 120.90, part number would be 2 for second item, and the cost would be 45.50 for second item. So this is the second way to initialize the member variables. Let us have a review program. Here we are creating ST structure, integer A, character C. So we are having two elements A and C, and the structure is completing there. Then in the main I am creating structures 3 objects, ST array of 3. Now we want to give 3 structures elements, so we are writing 3 individual structures and then we will give reference to them. So we are writing struct st of object 0. Then 0.a, for that particular instance I am giving the first value of first variable, and that is integer A. So I am giving it a value 0, and to a character I am giving a value A. Then for the second object I am giving value A to 1 and C to B. Then I am giving 2 to A for the third object and C to C named variable in object 3. Then I am giving that this array which we have created previously, structure array of 3. Here I am referring my objects and I am giving reference to this particular array. So I am writing st underscore array 0 is equal to object 0, object 1 and object 2. And then I am using array to print here. I can use my loop here, for loop here, to print it faster. So I just need to write for loop, I goes to 0 to 2, I plus plus, and inside that I just need to write I here. So A of here I am writing st underscore array of 0 dot A and then array of 0 dot C. Let us have the output. The output will be first element of array has a value of A is equals to, here percentage D would be what? The string array, structure array of 0 dot A. Structure array of 0 is what? st underscore object 0, and st underscore object 0's A value is what? 0. So the output will be 0 here in the same way, right? Hope you guys are getting this program. Then suppose we want to create arrays within the structure. This is the particular thing which we have already discussed when we have used that character information with your student's information. Here for student we are saving the character's name, right? So name is of type string, so we are taking character with character array for name. So here again that is the same case, we are taking type 1's array, type 2's array, type 3's array, because you can have floats array or integers array or string characters array, right? Let us have this example. Struct student mark, because say suppose there is one student which is having 3 subjects marks. So what we are doing is, there is one student which is having some roll number and which is having 2 subjects marks, so we are writing subject of 2. Subject 0 would be first subject and subject 1 would be second subject, and such two students are there, that's why we are writing s of 2. So s of 0 dot subject 0 means that students 1's first subjects marks. Suppose I am initializing that value to 20. So that is first students first subject marks, and the second one is first student's second subject mark, and then this one is for student 2. So that is the student 2's detail, and that is the second student is having first subject mark is 25 and second subject mark is 29. So here we are stopping today. Let us have the quick review about all we have done, so you can have the revision. First we have studied about the introduction, what the structure means, how it is differing from array. Then we have defined the structure, means what is the syntax to follow up for defining the structure. Then we have learnt ways to define the member variables as well as the structure variables. Then we have learnt how to use the type def, and that's all we have learned today. Thank you for the session.